All right, it is rifle hunting season. I'm sure a bunch of you guys have been out rifle hunting and maybe have some hunts coming up in the future. This is going to be right now the kickoff of a video series on how easy it is to set up a rifle A to Z, put a rifle scope on, get it all mounted, get it all dialed, go out in the field, break a barrel in, do some 100-yard, zero work, do some final zero prep, do some long-range validation, and then go out and go hunting. So right now it is November 3rd. So Monday, November 3rd, I leave on Thursday to go on an over-the-counter rifle elk hunt. And basically I'm gonna show you how easy it is to set up a gun. So for some reason you get a gun right before a hunt, something happens, or you decide to buy a new gun and you wanna set it up, you don't have much time, I'm gonna show you how easy it can be to literally get a gun set up and go out in the field with confidence and have a successful hunt. So first step is gonna be mounting a rifle scope. So today, I'm going to mount a rifle scope on this Browning X-Bolt 2 Speed, and this is chambered in 300 PRC. And we'll just dive right in, all the tools, all the necessary equipment you need. It's pretty simple. I got a bunch of stuff here. I already got the gun kind of roughed in and leveled. I have the level right here. I have extra levels all over the place. I'm a big fan of having a lot of levels when you're doing this. There's a bunch of different ways to mount a rifle scope. This is just what works well for me. It's pretty quick and easy. I have another level on the end of the barrel as well. And obviously you just need a torque wrench. I like to use acetone. I have some blue Loctite here and all the necessary little equipment. Obviously a pick rail, you got some rings, and I got a rifle scope. So the rifle scope I'm going to be mounting on here is a Swarovski Z5i plus, and it's the 5-25 by 56. So we're going to be mounting this on this rifle. I have a 20 MOA pick rail from Talley, and I have the RPM Collinear rifle rings right here. So first step I like to do when obviously get everything level, bolt is removed out of the rifle, everything is safe. So I have to call that out. I like to clean off my pick rail. So there's a bunch of different ways I've done this before. If I had more time on a personal rifle, I will take and bed the pick rail to the rifle, and just adds a little bit of, I think it removes a lot of the inconsistencies, and I just like doing everything I can to ensure a rifle shoots really great, but you don't have to do that. You definitely don't need to. So first step, we got the rail right here. I'm just gonna clean off everything with acetone, clean off the action with acetone as well. It just helps remove any of the oils from your hands, any random thing. It's a clean mating surface here for the pick rail and the action. So I have those cleaned off, and what you should always do first, no matter what method you're doing, is make sure you have the correct rail. So obviously this is the correct rail. I can look down and see all the little holes there for the little screws. So we have that set up. I'm gonna mount that on here just like so. And again, I have the gun roughly leveled right now in this gun vise that Norris let me borrow here at the office, because obviously we're not at my man cave, reloading room back at my house where I have everything also set up. So we're gonna get this going in here. And you can do this multiple different ways. I'm a big promoter of using Loctite. Just be advised, if you use Loctite, it could increase your torque specs. And just keep that in mind, but I like the peace of mind of using Loctite. That way I know everything is dialed and locked in. So I'm just gonna go on here right now and use this applicator, because it does have a nice kind of a fine needle tip on it, and these screws are very small. You could also use a Q-tip right here, cut out the end of the Q-tip. I've done before, and I'll take a bunch of Loctite and add it onto the top of a lid of something, and then I could just basically take this tip of the Q-tip, dab it on there, and kind of paint it on the threads. But I've done this quite a bit, and so it's pretty easy just to take this, and it would help if I opened it up. It is open. And then just slowly work the Loctite down. That's like a tiny drop. And then I'm gonna go and just place all those in here. Another big tip when doing this is I obviously don't have all my tools here, but all these little screws and whatever you have laying around, I usually like to have a lid that I'll put all those in. That way they're not going to get lost, fall off the table, I knock something over, hits that, falls on the ground, and you end up searching for parts everywhere. So we got that one done. Move on to the front here. Again, just kind of like just lightly setting them in place. And depending on what kind of rifle, what kind of rail you have, you might have smaller screws and longer screws, so just pay attention to that as well when you're doing this process to make it a little bit easier on yourself. So putting the right screws in. Now this part I'm just going to lightly mock all these up, just start kind of getting them in place here. I am not tightening them down, I'm just getting them, again, into place. Okay, now I kind of have them all slightly started. So make sure everything is fitting snug. All right, torque wrench, Browning X Bolt 2. The specs are 18 inch-pounds. Make sure you're using inch-pounds and not foot-pounds. I like to start a little bit lower, so I'm gonna go 15 first to start. And always want to, again, just gonna slowly keep moving this in place using a crisscross pattern as you're doing this. So again, just getting them closer than I had them before. I'm basically just touching them right now again. Okay, now I'm going to start locking them in place, a little bit tighter. Now I'm going to go up to my final torque spec, which again is 18 inch-pounds. Okay. 18 inch-pounds all around. Okay, now we're going to mock up the lower rings, and these RPM rings, they have a bubble level on one of them, and then they do not have a bubble on the other one. Since I'm a right-hand shooter, I like to have the bubble level off on the left side. That way I can see it really easy with my eye when I'm looking at the scope. Another thing that I like to do, because I fully believe that when all these rings are made, no matter which manufacturer you're using for your rings, that they're made to mate together. So this top goes with this bottom, and obviously this top goes with this bottom. So what I like to do when I'm taking these tops off, I usually try to set them. Okay, this one goes over here on the rear, and then the front one goes up front. But I also like to take a silver Sharpie, and I'll just make a line on this one on both sides, and then For this front one, I'm going to go on the front side of it. And that way I know when I take this off that they're going to have it in the right place. So I'm not going to, mess up either these rings here and have the back one with the front one with the back one, vice versa. So it's a little extra. Just lost that cap. We don't need it. A little extra peace of mind when I'm working with this. So right now I'm just going to loosen up these top screws here on the ring. So that's what you don't want to have happen. End up dropping things on the floor already. Okay, and again, top is going to go up front. It's got the right marks on it. I'm going to loosen this up a little bit. Just going to roughly put it in place right now and just sit there and let it get snug. Loosen the back ring. Okay, top came off like that. Setting the top right here. Front one's there. Okay, I have those both roughed in right now. I'm going to place my rifle scope on there. You want to make sure too you have plenty of clearance on the front bell of the rifle scope, and also you want to have plenty of clearance on this back side if you ever have a throw lever, or just to make sure you can adjust the magnification of the rifle scope. One thing I like to do is go to full magnification, and I like to get behind the rifle and check out the eye relief of my rifle scope. Kind of already see I'm going to have to move my rings forward a little bit. I'll basically check this out right now, close my eyes, get in the gun, and open my eyes and see if I have a good sight picture. That's actually really good. Should come back a little bit. But already what I want to do, I like to space out my rings as far as possible. That way, the further you go apart, the more true everything's going to be, at least in my mind. That's how it works. So right now I'm going to loosen this one up. I'm actually going to move this one back 1 notch and this one forward, I think 2 notches. So we'll carefully do this, move this back 1. Did I ever move that? I'll double check that in a bit. Yeah, I can definitely move that one back 1 more. Okay, that's probably pretty close. If I move this one spot further where I have it, it's going to start to kind of get in that curved area. And I don't really want that at all. Get back in the rifle, close my eyes, get in position, open them. And that's in a really good spot right there. Yeah. Okay, now that I have this mocked up, take my silver Sharpie again. And basically what I'm doing on the other side, I'm just going to draw a little line here and there. That way when I take this off, I'm going to get the gun level in the vise. And that way I can put it right back on there and everything's going to be in the right spot when I'm putting the rifle scope back on. Okay, got both of those marked. I'm going to pull this off. Okay, now I'm going to finalize and level this gun. So again, that's where all the levels come into play. I have this one right here in the action, it's level. I'm going to make sure this one is level. That one is really, really good right there. Make sure my gun vise is nice and tight so nothing moves on me. And then now I'm going to set this one up on the front. This will be my reference in case I move anything later. This is going to be the one that I'm going to reference off of. So obviously I'm going to take this off. If I do bump this, I can look at the front when I'm putting that rifle scope back on there. Okay, that one's in the center. And that one's centered up as well. That's tight. Just taking multiple levels that I have just to triple check, just in case. All right, so now what I like to do is to add a little bit of extra squareness. I like to put the rifle scope in here. That way it acts as a a sense of truth when I'm mocking everything up here. So I got that in the right position. I'm gonna take this little bolts off. And I'm going to add a little bit of blue Loctite onto those threads. Just a little dot, goes a long way. Okay. Just gonna add the top caps on there to help it a little bit too. And now before I get anything situated, I'm gonna take these rings, I'm gonna slightly push them forward. I don't know if you can hear that click. I'm gonna push the rings forward, making sure everything's square. I'm just gonna hand tighten them right now. Push this forward, hand tighten it. Okay, so on these lower rings, RPM recommends 45 inch-pounds. So I'm going to start at 40. I've already hand tightened them on here. Now I'm going to take a wrench and we're going to start at 40. I'm just going to slowly go forward here. Again, we've pushed them forward with the hand tightening. Now I'm just slowly working it back and forth. Okay, that's 40 inch-pounds. And we're gonna go up to 45 inch-pounds to finalize it. Okay, now we have 45 inch-pounds on the front and back. Again, both of these are in the right spot, front and back. I'm gonna set this off the side. Now this is when those two reference marks are gonna come into play here. When I am mounting this, again, if you can't see that, it's right there. So I know this front one on the back side, the back one was on the back side of that. That way I know my eye relief is set up properly. I'm just gonna roughly set it in there, make sure it's level. Put the back top ring on, front top ring on. Now I'm going to take all the little screws here, add a little drop of Loctite again. Okay, this is when we want to reference that front bubble level on the end of the barrel. I like this little level. It's made by Defensive Edge. Actually has a nice little flat stock here with the bubble on it. And basically, I like to level everything from the bottom guts of the rifle scope. That's basically how every rifle scope that I understand is made, because that's a flat surface, perfectly flush. If you measure these or check the level off the top scope cap, like here on the Swarovski one, they're kind of curved, so it's going to be really hard to know if it's level. And then again, if you would adjust that top turret cap a little bit and then put the level on, you're probably going to get some inconsistencies there because of the tolerances of that top turret cap right there. So I do not recommend ever checking level off a turret cap. I always try to do it off the bottom guts of the rifle scope. There is other tools that I use as well. This is made by Arasaka. It's basically a little flat stock here that would go underneath the rail on a pick rail setup, and then you can put this flat angled stock in there, and basically it's going to push it and get it underneath there to get it leveled underneath the gut. So that's another method you can do. Sometimes it's too tight to put this tool inside there. So again, I'll use the flat stock, put it underneath here, hold it up, and then I'll reference the rifle scope, make sure it's level, and then look down at that front one to make sure that's still level. What I'm going to do is take my hands right now and again, lightly putting all these screws into the rings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mind the gap that I'm creating when I'm doing this. That way I have an even gap on the right side and the left side of these scope rings as I'm mounting it. So just doing light pressure. Again, checking the gap. I got to loosen this side a little bit and then tighten this side down. And if you have to, just back them out a little bit and then tighten those ones back down. Just kind of make sure that gap's the same. And again, right now I'm double checking that this level is level, and it's level with the front of the rifles. And this way, right now, if you need to, you can slightly adjust the rifle scope. And I'm going to go a little bit more than finger tight. Well, again, double checking my bubble level here. Crisscross pattern again. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. Okay, and now for the top rings, it's going to be 18 inch-pounds. So I'm going to adjust the torque wrench back down to 18. I'm going to first start at 15 and slowly work my way in there. Again, using this flat bar, double checking the front, crisscross patterns, slowly going further. Final check again. Now I'm going to go back up to 18, or go up to 18 inch-pounds. Cross-reference with the bubble level again. As you can see here, if I wasn't talking, that's a super simple process how to accurately mount a rifle scope. Again, a million different ways to do that. This is the way that works really well for me. So it took no time at all, got it mounted up. Now the next step for me is going to head to the range tomorrow and I'm gonna be breaking in the barrel. So stay tuned for a second video on this little rifle project. But again, super easy process. It's not that complicated. You just need a few tools and you can do this yourself, and then you can do it with your buddy's rifles. It saves a lot of time and you know, trip to a gunsmith or some other buddy who has all those tools, so you can easily do this yourself.